harder or easier?
Yeah, it's I mean, I'd have to say touring with a family has its moments of hardness and easiness too. I mean, like I tell you what, here it's easier. I mean, having the kids and just kind of cruising around and just get things done. Whereas I'm not going to mention names, but I'll say where guys have been, by 12 o'clock they're that bored they start having a few beers and they can they lose their concentration of contest wise. Whereas I'm not saying I'm perfect either, but definitely it keeps me keeps me on my toes. And I'm sure if you're a dad, you know what I mean. I got a 2.5-year-old that's just kind of getting a bit crazy now.
Well, that's right. And, yeah, very helpful in a town like Mundaka where it just never stops, man. It's like
no. They closed the bar. I've seen the bar owner this morning, the bar that there's only really 2 bars that everyone goes to, and one of the bars, they closed it at 6:30 and it opens at 8.
Yeah.
They don't have like they have to be shut by a 2 o'clock curfew or a 4 o'clock curfew. It just when they leave, we'll shut. They left at 6:30. They shut the doors and they have to reopen it at 8.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And like a lot of times, the same people doing the opening as we were shutting it. Going hell for leather here in Mundaka, there would have been 8,000 people, I reckon, roaming the streets of this lovely old stone village. Just having a whale of a time last night in Mundaka. It was a fiesta in all but name. But now, we're kind of into the business of competition right now. 2 surfers in the next heat. Pedro, Henrique and Shaun Cansdell are now in the lineup. You can see the 2 blokes from the last heat. Good mates, David Ware and Greg Emsley. They hang together at the event and they surf together a lot, and it's just so weird that they draw each other in heat.
Yeah, well, it happens,
It does happen, doesn't it?
It happens. It happens a lot. I mean, there's not many guys out there that, in surfing that haven't surfed against a good friend or anything, because, whether you come from, I don't know, East Coast or West Coast or whatever, or, how it works. You always, when you're a kid, you're going to surf against your mate. I like this one from Liam McNamara's on. Parker,
yeah.
What about how 2 years ago you were late and I had to wax your board?
Is that true?
Yeah, it was. I was late. I think I made the heat, actually, though. I think I did just.
You made it through?
I think maybe I might have just. I think I got a second. I can't remember who too, but I know.
It's classic. I just picture Liam frothing and waxing your board going, "Come on, Parko, what are you doing, man?"
There's a couple. I like the emails. They're pretty odd. They're pretty good.
They are. You're getting pissed here. Cairns is going to win, Parker. You got nothing on him.
Oh, yeah. Talk's cheap. Come on.
Yeah. Hedgie, free as a hog. Get it? Very quiet start to this heat in the water right now.
This is going to probably be about the worst time of the day to surf.
Yeah, very
bottom of the outgoing tide.
Bottom of the outgoing tide, and you can feel as when it does swing, it'll probably kind of do what it did yesterday on a slightly lesser of a scale. As swell will build and come pushing in on the sandbar quite hard, and we'll see some good 3 or 4 foot barrels all the way down the line.
Yeah, I guarantee you, like another 2 heats, these guys are going to get really good waves.
Yeah, but in the meantime, these guys are doing it tough. Looks like Pedro Henrique is having a look at his first ride. And he's up and riding. Pedro from Brazil down the line. Oh man, this wave's just petering out on him very quickly, and Pedro kicking out there. I guess he's got one under his belt, but fat lot of difference it'll probably make in the long run.
Well, all it makes is Cairns get priority, and so smart. Maybe it was a warm-up wave, but taking a warm-up wave can be crucial when there ain't many waves. I don't know. I'm trying to work out if they've got a chance of going into the next round. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heats, which is 3 hours. I don't know. There might be a chance.
I would reckon. I reckon there'll be a few barrels later on. And here we go. Pedro just driving down the line on that first ride of this heat. You can see that super nimble style of the young Brazilian surfer. He's really a compact So he's kind of out of the Victor Rebus mould in a way, really compact and tight, but he's moving like Victor did when Victor was a grommet, before Victor was kind of a grown-up the way he is now, and sharp as attack, that kid.
It's a funny one. Money on Woody bashing Parker. You got nothing on me, Woody. I've worked that kid about 4 times.
Yeah, so I mean, what can you say to that? Well, Shaun
here's a
Cansdell.
couple of sets.
There's a bit of a set coming now, and you can
look up the point. You see how it's up the points, that barreling Rippy. It's bigger and more push up there, but the waves are way more easy to surf down the line. That's why they're not up there. So I just thought I'd let you know that. Yeah.
They're surfers are still a bit uncertain about that Rippy bowl section in the middle of the wave right now. They don't want to attack it until the swell builds with the incoming tide, and you'll see that whole rip zone go awfully dead. Actually, it'll get real quiet, and the wave will reveal itself for what it truly is.
The moment that they can paddle against that rip is the moment they should be there, because that's where the better waves are. And right now, you couldn't. You'd end up out near the island out there, but the moment they I would be on it for sure.
Yeah. Now, it looks like we're going to cross to the winner of the last heat. Take it away, GT.
Gregory, well, you, Dave, and Travis seem to be inseparable on land. Unfortunately, you had to surf against one of your housemates and tour mates in that one.
Yeah, for sure. Against Dave, it was tough. It's one of my best mates, and to have him in the heat, it's always tough. So it was, I mean, I'm pretty stoked I won. At the same time, I feel bad for Dave losing.
Now, I heard rumors that you guys had a little settlement on who got first priority last night. Is this true?
Yeah, we did a bit of a rock, paper, scissors for priority on the first wave, and Dave actually won it. So I think that kind of made me go on the smaller ones in the beginning, going, well, I can't really burn him. He's getting the first good one. Let me just get a few under the belt while it is consistent like that. And I guess maybe it actually helped me in a way, just because I got the waves and it was pretty much flat the whole heat.
Now, what do you do when the heat before had quite a bit of surf, and it definitely moved up almost to the normal takeout spot, but your heat really just kind of stopped?
Yeah, well, that's what it's like with places with these big tides like Mundaka. It's the tide's going out, guaranteed there's going to be heats that are really slow. And I surfed before the contest, and it was very similar to my heat, small little runners. And then the first heat had those big sets. So I thought, there's going to be 1 or 2 of those, but you don't want to be left without scores out there.
Well, you got the scores to get you through the heat. Congratulations. And, my sorrow goes to Dave and your mate, my brother, but one guy had to win.
Yeah, for sure. It was a tough heat. Wasn't we didn't get the biggest or best waves, but at the end of the day, that's what competition is. And I'm sure we'll have heats again together in the past, and he's going to be frothing to get me back one.
Well, congratulations. All right, I think Parko and Nick Carroll are doing the thing right now. So back to you, boys.
All right, thanks, GT. And hey, Parker, you got to tell me, man. Like I sit here in these webcast things, and I throw over to GT, and he interviews people, and I'm just blown away by old GT. We'll talk about him in a sec, though. Shaun Cansdell accelerating down the line. Oh. Boom, nice big air to finish.
Wow.
And really composed bit of surfing there from Shaun Cansdell to open his account there, Parker.
Yeah, Cans, he knows, like, if you get an average wave, you just got to stick something big, and that's what he did. He did a really nice air there. It was a really nice grab. I hope we get a replay on that, because, it's a pretty little technical grab. I don't know what you'd call it, but hard to do an air on a 1 foot wave with a howling offshore.
Now, Parker, do you know the names of all the crazy grabs and so on with the air stuff, or do you just do them and then wonder where the names come from when you're reading the mags and that?
I have not one inkling. I know a double grab and a single grab, because you run with 2 heads or 1 head after like that.
That's sick. I like it.
Look, here's a river.
Now, the key to this, Parker, was the speed that Carnes was able to develop as he raced down the line. Just got the beautiful ankle to knee to hip movement here. Shaun Cansdell holding his upper body really flat and just gaining all the speed out of a wave that just has nothing.
Oh, see the grab? That was nice. I like that. That was a good air. I hope they reward him well.
Well, let's see what they scored him there. The judges giving him a, what is that? A 5.67.
6.67.
6.67 there for Shaun Cansdell, the highest wave of the heat so far, and he's leading with just one wave. So nice stuff there from Shaun.
I reckon these guys are going to have to be on this current, because now it's starting to clean up the top. The current's kind of moving. It moves down the point. Here goes Pedro. But they're moving up into the current.
They are, and you can see Pedro just snatching a wave. Wow, well, you won't often see that. Pedro Henrique failing to negotiate a bounce off the foam on a 2-foot wave. The thing just snafuing him. There might be a bit too much fresh water too in that current there, Parko, and making it trickier to roll off foam and stuff.
Yeah. I believe yesterday when that tide started going out on us when we were out there, everything was coming out. There was front doors and like trees coming out on the river, and
it was madness. I thought I saw a door frame go past at one point.
Yeah, and this tree comes here goes Pedro.
There he goes, Pedro Henrique, trying to connect this wave down to that second section. Drives the cutback to stay with the foam, and now begins to speed it up. Pedro makes it around that section. Nice work there from Pedro Henrique. But Parko, looks like there's some real set waves beginning to approach now. I suspect the tide might finally have turned.
Oh, the tide's definitely turned.
Yeah.
It's slowed down. Kansas paddling down the point.
Yeah.
For this, don't paddle. I mean, I can't say don't, but Kansas, a bomb set coming.
Yeah,
please.
It's been happening all event. Parko guys been going the early way, but it's still not a bad one here for Shaun Cansdell.
It's easy to say from here, but
it is.
When you look down the wave of a perfect little left, you think, I'm going to just go it. Yeah. They've all going to you all can get a score on them, but there's definitely a few good waves coming, and Cairns can see them now. He knows.
That's right, yeah. Well, it looks like Shaun's having a look at that next wave to bend off down into the bay, and not really doing it for him, though. Shaun Cansdell and Pedro Henrique paddling back out to the takeoff zone. And Parker, you're getting just a hiding from Donald Trump here.
Donald Trump
emails. What's the deal with that?
Don't know. Telling me that I have to win a little title or I'm fired.
I didn't know you were an apprentice.
Didn't know. Cairns. Look, did I ever pay Cairns for surfing pipe in the night time? I paid him $100 US for him to surf. Yep, I did.
Well, let's have a look here. We've got a bit of a replay now, I think, of Shaun's last ride. And you can see here just how quick that wave is.
Yeah.
He was just like, boom, had to get out of that one as the section formed and just got away from him down the line. Surfer's now right in the middle of that riptide zone, which was such a feature of the day around this time yesterday.
And on just for a bit of information, on the ratings, Cairns is coming 16th and Pedro is coming 39th right now, so they're pretty far apart. Bit of a high seed, low seed thing, but on surfing wise, whoa.
Well, Pedro chucking the big air attempt right there and unfortunately coming unstuck.
That's how he beat Taj last week. Busted 2 airs and
Jeez, that must have got under Taj's skin, getting beaten by a guy doing airs. That must have driven him freaking nuts.
Yeah.
Up and riding here, Pedro Henrique. On the wave before this, Pedro got a really important score, a 4.83, and it actually put him into the lead. And Pedro right now leading the heat. I'm sure he's been able to hear the commentators telling him that. And so I guess as a result, he's wanting to chase a really big score here. He knows the wave doesn't really have it for him, so he's forced to try and generate something out of this little wave. God, very difficult conditions here for the surfers.
I was just thinking how much I'm going to struggle on them little lefts. I hope I don't have to go out there. I hope it gets better for me.
Well, we're going to see. We're going to wait and see exactly what happens here at Mundaka as the tide begins to turn. You can see big swell lines moving down through the other side of the bay, and that's usually a pretty good sign here at Mundaka that when the tide does turn, those swell
Pedro's
lines
looking
will pull
again.
back in.
Tiny little wave, but
Pedro's wave not amounting to much there, but after all, he is in the lead right now. Shaun Cansdell with priority, though, and with the highest scoring wave of the heat right now, holds somewhat of an advantage in the heat, I think, right now, at this point. May not stay that way for much longer.
someone said that air of Cairns was an indigo. Okay. Thanks, now we know.
Well, very quiet times here at Mundaka while we're waiting in between set waves.
Yeah.
Cansdell and Pedro sitting out there, very, very patient with this. They know that in a way they're kind of like the surf sacrifice for this round, because the surf's going to probably come on quite strong in the next heat or so. They're going to be sitting up there and watching and going, well, we could have had a better fun surf, you know. But like, at this competition level, Parker, you take what you get, huh? Like, and part of it is being able to deal with what they serve you up. It's a little bit like getting cards in a game of poker.
Pedro's on a really good one.
Oh yeah, Pedro snapping off that oncoming right hand. And
I don't know if you see, Shaun was watching that every move he made on that wave, and I reckon he turned his head like, I knew something happened. He knew it. You got to score then, Pedro. Oh.
Well, Can's being very patient. I guess he just doesn't want to surrender priority for something that might be a meagre score, huh?
Yeah, and turn around and then Pedro's on a bomb. Sometimes priority can be your worst enemy.
Priority's a really big card, isn't it, Parko? In a heat, it's like it's either your ace or your joker.
Yeah, it's either you got the, you're on or you're not. I mean, there's so many times where. You see guys, and I've done it this year. I did it. Bruce in Mexico, he needed a 7, and the smallest little wave came, and it didn't look like it had much on it. And I let him go, and he got a 7-6 or something.
Well,
Pedro's wave was pretty good.
Let's check Pedro getting under Shaun Cansdell's guard here.
And he got a 6.
Little wave on the inside. A pretty good score here for Pedro. He's scored 6 on this. I think mainly just for the effectiveness of his judgment on that foam rebound. He could have done a couple of different things there, and he picked the right move to pull, and came back around, showed a lot of control, and gave him a 6. And now Pedro really does begin to move into command of this heat. And Parker, I think somebody who's impersonating Ron Burgundy of the movie Anchorman has asked you a very direct question. Okay, are you willing to answer this, Parker?
Yeah, I'll say.
Okay, the question is, Parker, how is Fanning so fit if he's on the piss so much? What's the story there, Parker?
You know what? He doesn't. He's all show and tell, that boy. He just, since France, Pedro.
There you go, Pedro's
just getting working it. He knows he can take any wave and get a score. And
Pedro getting Parker off the hook there, but leading it down the line.
Yeah, no. So Mick does. He's only probably had a couple. Since the night in France, he's probably. We had a few beers the night after the final, and that was it. I mean, Mick doesn't drink during events or anything, so he's got a pretty good little training regime he sticks to, and
he's proud of his rig, isn't he, Mick?
He's proud of his rig.
Yeah.
He's all, pricking ribs. Here goes Cans. Look, there's a bomb coming.
Yeah, there is a bomb coming. Cansdell paddling down, sensing his chance to hit back at last at Pedro. He's been waiting a long time for this wave. Well, what's going to happen here, Parko? The devil wind's blowing up the face of this little devil, isn't it?
It is. Wow.
Oh, there won't be any indie grabs on that one for Shaun Cansdell finishing his...
But he only needed a 5 on 7. I don't know if he'll get it, but, he's trying.
He's giving it a bash.
Yeah. Cans. you know. I don't want to sound like I'm a bias, but I always like to see Cairns do well. He's, you know, a young Aussie and he's a good mate, so I have to cheer for Cairns, but, you know.
How much, you know, this is something that sort of ebbs and flows on the world tour from year to year. How much do you think nationalism is playing a part in the headspace of the top pro surfers right now?
Sorry,
we'll get back to that. We'll just watch Cairns here trying to hit back here at Pedro Henrique. A couple of really nice little turns. Works up some speed.
He smashes that. Look how tight that was. Wow.
And
he got a 6.3.
Well, there you go. Shaun Cansdell back into the lead, turning tables on Pedro Henrique. Pedro now needs a 6.11. And there's a solid time left in this heat. There's over 9 minutes remaining, so plenty of time there for both surfers to seize the reins.
Someone asked me, "Hey Parko, is the guy at Snapper that has brown hair and it's got a silver and blue board? Is that my dad?" That's my uncle, actually. Did he snake you?
Surprise,
Wow.
surprise. I can't
Surprise.
believe your uncle, Daryl Parkinson, would snake anybody under any circumstances.
There's a guy, and there's about 3 other Parkos out there that'll snake a lot more people. So I'm sorry, I'm not apologising for him, but, you know, he lives there.
Well, you know what I can only suggest would be probably the lamest question you've been asked today from Droops. Parko, what do you eat for breakfast?
This morning I had a ham, cheese, tomato toasted sandwich.
Well, there you go, Droops. Now you know, and I guess you'll probably be slipping out and grabbing one of them yourself now, because you never know, it might turn you into a top professional surfer. Yeah, look. Parko, we were on the nationalism front there. Yeah, do you want to give us a judgment on how much nationalism's kind of playing a part in the headspace of the top pro surfers these days? Is it a big factor, or is it just like in the background?
No, it's a pretty big factor. The Brazilians stick together, and the Aussies, we pretty much stick together. I pretty much, 99% of the time I'm cheering for one of the Aussie boys, guaranteed.
Right. Yeah.
I should be saying 100% of the time, which I probably am. I mean, I always want to see him do well. I mean, the only 99% I'm not cheering is when I'm up against one of them. So,
yeah.
we have a lot of Aussies on tour, and a lot of the time we've got 2 Aussies in a heat, and it makes it hard to cheer because they're probably 2 of your good mates, So sometimes you just sit there pretty neutral and just want to see a good heat with good surfing.
Yeah, look, absolutely, and sometimes that's how it goes. I think it seems like the nationalism goes out the back door when the heat's really good and both surfers are opening up with everything they've got. It becomes more of just an amazing surfing display. Well, small sets forming outside at the moment. There's a little bit of a set trying to filter down into the bay. We can't be much further off the low tide mark. It must be just around the corner for us. And
really, can I just read this one?
Yeah, sure.
Cordell says, "Bring G-Land back on tour." What do you think about that? I reckon I'd love to have G-Land back. I mean, I think there's a lot of politics and stuff with the government and the stuff that they've been through. I think that's why, and they can't get insurance and stuff like that. But I wish I got on tour after the G-Land was there, and there was always talk of it going back, but I think it's kind of over now. They can't get back there.
Yeah, it's a real shame. Surely, one of the most spectacular venues for any kind of surfing, and particularly for a major pro event. The G-Land event does seem like it's kind of, for the foreseeable future anyway, kind of off limits. But yeah, Parker, you must have watched that on video and so on when you were a grommet and just going, "Oh crap, is that what I'm headed for?
Yeah.
Look at this, it's so sick."
Yeah, I went there when I was about 16, and I haven't been back since. And I was just, that was when the tour was there, and it wasn't for the contest. It was just for a trip. But Cairns is looking.
Well, he's having a look at this. He's paddling for it. Does he have priority, or is it Pedro with priority?
Pedro.
Pedro's got priority, and then Cairns just kind of forced him into that wave, didn't he? In a way, that was tricky stuff. The wave peeling off down, and if Pedro had got around that section and made something happen, it would have been a good wave. But as it was, I guess he would have used his priority on that wave, and it wasn't really much to write home about.
No, that wave would have been definitely one of the best waves of the heat if he had got it. But now Cairns has got priority in the lead with 4 minutes to go. It's going to be hard for Pedro now. When can I get off the internet? When can I leave? Can I leave
You're not allowed to leave, Fucko. You're here. You're here for another. You're another 4.5 minutes, man.
All right,
You're here for another 4.5 minutes, and
because I'm thinking I might surf now, so I'm gonna go and
what are you going to do? Where will you surf, Parker?
I might surf my heat. I'm starting to think that I reckon it's going to pump. I reckon it's really going to get good, and I reckon I'll be could be one of the prime heats of the day. The way
Could be, huh?
Well,
what heat are you going to be in round 3?
First, I'm the very first heat around.
First guy out there. Oh man. Well, yeah. I reckon you're probably right, mate. I reckon you will surf today, and you better go and get
Because when you
your
look right
headspace.
down there, you can see a lot of lines. So
You can see a lot of lines, and they'll be coming back and hitting the sandbar once the tide turns, and we'll see a bit of magic then. Now, you were saying, who was your opponent in the upcoming heat?
Jared House.
Jared House, and Jared had a exciting heat in his first round. He had to do it tough because he snapped the board and he had to swim back to the harbour. But very athletically, though, man. Do you know Housey well? Do you know if he's got like some kind of training regime which involves really fast swimming?
I don't know. I know that I reckon 100% of the guys on tour, if they get put in that position,
they'll go pretty hard.
They go hard.
They go hard.
I think anyone would,
Yeah. For sure. Well, just only a couple of minutes left now in this heat.
I reckon there's a couple of... This set, but there's a set, and I reckon this will either make the heat or change the heat. This
is the wake-up set, really, for Mundaka. The tide has turned. The low tide peak was about 7 or 8 or 10 minutes ago now, and we should see in the next half hour this wave spring to life. The wind blowing a really healthy offshore right now, and Pedro...
Yeah, I don't think people realise how much this wave changes. Like yesterday, the guys were surfing 2-foot waves this time yesterday, and then 2 hours from now, they were riding 8-foot waves.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Well, here goes Cairns with the priority. He let Pedro have it.
He let Pedro have that one.
Oh, wait up. Pedro found a little barrel.
Boom, racing down the line.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be the score. He needed a 6-1. I don't think so, but he might.
I don't know. I think the judges would be... remiss in awarding a 6 for that, but you never know. I mean, they've got to adjust to the conditions all the time.
I got my mate Billo. How many kegs are you going to win this year? Billo's on. All right, egg ball.
Yeah, he's on your case.
Well,
it's a dangerous place for you, isn't it? This commentary booth.
Yeah, I really get some true stuff comes out. I mean, I got the boys at JS Surfboards, they have inspired me. I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but every time I win a contest, they put a keg of beer on for me.
Oh, jeez.
So I haven't been home yet for the France one, but hopefully I'm going home with 2.
You never know. You could indeed go home with 2, and one suspects that your buddies at JS will probably enjoy that just as much as you will. In fact, they might just be using your wins as an excuse to get on the keg.
That's fine by me.
Well, just under a minute remaining now in this heat. Looks like Cansdell having a look at that wave, lets it go. Pedro going. He's got no choice really, but he's not going to make it around that section. And Shaun Cansdell is holding onto his lead. I suspect he'll hold it all the way to the finish now. Shaun Cansdell from Mulloway, New South Wales, Australia. Seems like he's going to take this heat away from Pedro Henrique. More sets now pouring into this contest zone. You can see the guys in the next heat beginning to run across that outside sandbar, and I guess they're beginning to think, well, maybe we should be taking off out the back now, because that out the back section is looking so sparkly right now. It's just gorgeous day here at Mundaka. Look at that thing peeling.
Here comes the
across that
first
outside
real good
sandbar.
set.
That was gorgeous wave there, Paco.